Indonesia consists of 34 provinces, 5 of which have special status. Each province has its own legislature and governor. The provinces are subdivided into regencies, kabupaten, and cities, kota, which are further subdivided into district, kecamatan, or district in Papua and West Papua, and again into administrative villages, either desa, kelurahan, kampung, nagari, in West Sumatra, or gampong, in Aceh. The provinces of Jakarta, Yogyakarta, Aceh, Papua, and West Papua have greater legislative privileges and a higher degree of autonomy from the central government than the other provinces. The name Indonesia derives from the Greek translation of the Indus River and the word nèsos, meaning Indian island. The name dates to the 18th century, far predating the formation of independent Indonesia. After 1900, the name Indonesia became more common in academic circles outside the Netherlands, and Indonesian nationalist groups adopted it for political expression. The first Indonesian scholar to use the name was Suwardi Srianingrat, also known as Ki Hajar Dewantara, when he established a press bureau in the Netherlands with the name Indonesisch Persbureau in 1913. Fossils and the remains of tools show that the Indonesian archipelago was inhabited by Homo erectus, popularly known as Java man, between 1.5 million years ago and 35,000 years ago. Homo sapiens reached the region by around 45,000 years ago. Austronesian peoples, who form the majority of the modern population, migrated to Southeast Asia from Taiwan. They arrived in Indonesia around 2000 BCE, and as they spread through the archipelago, confined the indigenous Melanesian peoples to the far eastern regions. From the 7th century CE, the powerful Srivijaya naval kingdom flourished as a result of trade and the influences of Hinduism and Buddhism that were imported with it. Between the 8th and 10th centuries CE, the agricultural Buddhist Sailendra and Hindu Mataram dynasties thrived and declined in inland Java, leaving grand religious monuments such as Borobudur, Sewu and Prambanan. This period marked a renaissance of Hindu-Buddhist art in ancient Java. The first regular contact between Europeans and the peoples of Indonesia began in 1512, when Portuguese traders led by Francisco Serrao sought to monopolize the sources of nutmeg, cloves, and cubeb pepper in Maluku. Dutch and British traders followed. In 1602, the Dutch established the Dutch East India Company (VOC), and in following decades, the Dutch has gained foothold in Batavia and Amboina. Throughout 17th and 18th centuries, the company became the dominant European power in the archipelago. Following bankruptcy, the VOC was formally dissolved in 1800, and the government of the Netherlands established the Dutch East Indies as a nationalized colony. For most of the colonial period, Dutch control over the archipelago was tenuous outside of coastal strongholds. Only in the early 20th century did Dutch dominance extend to what was to become Indonesia's current boundaries. Despite major internal political, social and sectarian divisions during the National Revolution, Indonesians, on the whole, found unity in their fight for independence. Japanese occupation during World War II ended Dutch rule, and encouraged the previously suppressed Indonesian independence movement. A later UN report stated that 4 million people died in Indonesia as a result of famine and forced labor during the Japanese occupation. 2 days after the surrender of Japan in August 1945, Sukarno, an influential nationalist leader, declared independence and was appointed president. The Netherlands tried to re-establish their rule, and an armed and diplomatic struggle ended in December 1949, when in the face of international pressure, the Dutch formally recognized Indonesian independence. Sukarno moved Indonesia from democracy towards authoritarianism, and maintained his power base by balancing the opposing forces of the military and the Communist Party of Indonesia, Partai Komunis Indonesia, PKI. An attempted coup on the 30th of September 1965 was countered by the army, who led a violent anti-communist purge, during which the PKI was blamed for the coup and effectively destroyed. Large-scale killings took place which targeted communists, ethnic Chinese and alleged leftists. The most widely accepted estimates are that between 500,000 and 1 million people were killed, with some estimates as high as 2 to 3 million. The head of the military, General Suharto, outmaneuvered the politically weakened Sukarno and was formally appointed president in March 1968. His New Order administration was supported by the U.S. government. However, the authoritarian New Order was widely accused of corruption and suppression of political opposition. Indonesia was the country hardest hit by the late 1990s Asian financial crisis. This increased popular discontent with the New Order and led to popular protest across the country. Suharto resigned on the 21st of May 1998. In 1999, East Timor to secede from Indonesia. Since Suharto's resignation, a strengthening of democratic processes has included a regional autonomy program, and the first direct presidential election in 2004. In the last 5 years the economy has performed strongly.